So I just want to start with some of the highlights of VBC, and that begins with our overall and daily themes. If you got a packet, which I think you all did, inside your packet is the overall themes, the daily themes. So we're going with the secret life of Jesus, and we're going to be talking about parables. And so if you're familiar at all with any of the parables of Jesus, you know that sometimes, most of the time, Jesus had a hidden meaning in those parables, right? The parable of the soils wasn't necessarily about soils, it was about our hearts, right? Or the wise and foolish builder wasn't necessarily about construction, right? And so we're going to take these parables and we're going to look at what Jesus was trying to get at. What was the secret Jesus was trying to get at? So you can see the list of parables that we're going to go through. We're going to start with the parables of the lost stuff. The parables when the shepherd lost 1 out of 100 sheep and went and looked for it. And then we have the lady who lost a coin and was searching for that coin. One of the notes you just want to put up on top of day 1, we have a typo where it says you are valuable to Jesus. We want to say you are valuable to God, because Jesus is telling the parable and we're trying to learn more about God. So that verbiage will all be in your lessons and curriculum, but just a note there. So you can see we got the parables of the lost stuff, and then we're going to talk about how we are valuable to God. Then we're going to go to day 2, the wise and foolish builder. We have the wise builder who builds on the rock, the foolish builder who builds on the sand. The storms come, and of course the house on the rock stands up. And then we're going to talk about how Jesus is our rock. And then we'll move on to day 3, which kind of is a parable. It's salt and light. Jesus talks about being salt and light in the world. And so that's found in Matthew 5, verses 13 to 16, talking about how we are to share Jesus' love by being salt and light in this world. And then day number 4 is we're going to be good dirt. The parable of the soils and being a good farmer. All right? And that's from Matthew 13. And then day 5, we don't have another parable. It's just a review of what we've done throughout the week. So we found that doing pretty hard the first 4 days, and then day 5 we just review and have a fun time kind of going over all the parables. That's what's going to happen there. So those are our daily themes and our overall themes. So we got the secret life of Jesus, and then we got the parable. So if you think about decorating your room, you think about that, you might want to go with the detective theme, not necessarily the pet theme, because the pet theme won't work so well with what we're doing. So we go with the detective theme. Next, we're going to talk about our mission project. We are collecting, once again, money and items for 2 things. We're collecting money for Honduras, the John Wesley School again. We did that last year, and we paid for some scholarships for those schools. This year we're raising money for school buses, a couple of school buses so that kids can get to school safely, maybe do some after school programs like soccer or different sports. So we're trying to raise, I think, $8,000 to $9,000 for a bus, and then the missions department here at church will match whatever we raise, so we can have a lot of money being sent to Honduras. Yes. And then what we're actually collecting as far as items, we're doing the beds ministry, and so we're be getting twin sheets and blankets and a few other things that we listen for the beds ministry that we'll be collecting for them. So you've probably heard of that. So that was a Christmas Eve offering a few years ago. If you haven't noticed, if you came through the old Building B, the narthex, construction renovation is going to be starting there. We're not 100% sure what it's going to look like, but we just want you to be aware that stations are going to be in different locations, so really pay attention to your schedule. We're contemplating possibly putting a tent out on the grass and having a station out there, and we may be able to use these doors just to check in, but we may not be able to do much else, and we're still not sure. So just to keep that in mind as you're rotating, to know, here's this station, just kind of know where you're going. And on that same note, we're going to need a lot of patience, especially for getting through the halls and using the bathroom, right? Because if the only way that we can get into the sanctuary is going to be that way that's possible, it's going to be very narrow. So we're going to be able to use that entrance by the slide. We're going to be able to use the fire escape exit to get down there. But just know that it's going to take a little bit of time to get down there, so just to plan that in when you're getting to the sanctuary or going to any of your stations. And also, these bathrooms. We got a couple bathrooms up here, and for this year we are bringing 3rd grade up here. So that 3rd graders have to keep marching back and forth through the construction zone. So 3rd grade is going to be here, and so there's another 150 kids up here with the bathroom. So we just want to be creative about where and how you use the bathroom. I always use the bathroom, but just like how you're going to do it. Like maybe go down to the sanctuary early and use the bathroom near the sanctuary, get some near the parlor, There's some up on the balcony, you kind of be looking for those. Or maybe have a scheduled time where you take people out over here. We'll be able to do that with third grade a little bit better, but just to kind of be aware that we're going to need a little extra time to travel and use the bathrooms. And then, of course, on that Sunday before VBC, for those of you who have classrooms to set up, you can do that Sunday afternoon. That's also the time where you get t-shirts and remind you that we want VBC to be a safe place. And when we think of safety at VBC, we kind of put them, I kind of put them in three categories. One is the physical safety. We want kids kept safe, so we don't want them, like, you know, with their at rec time getting crazy where someone can get hurt. If we're moving around from one station to the next, we want to be staying together. So that type of physical safety. So we just want to keep an eye that kids don't physically get hurt. Next, we want kids to be emotionally safe. So, you know, as we want to make sure that kids are using kind and uplifting words to each other. We want to be on the lookout for and have our ears open for any bullying and any time the kids are treated poorly. And you as leaders, you need your help doing that. And so, especially youth leaders, because kids might, you know, when you're near them, just be listening for that. Just encourage positive conversation with them. Because we want church to be a safe place where kids feel cared for and by their leaders. And if you hear something, just quickly speak up. Say, hey, we treat others well, treat others with kindness here at the church. And then spiritual safety, all right? So this especially applies for some of your older kids. We want to make sure that kids, if they don't panic if they ask you some crazy question or make some statement about God. Say, what? Don't allow them to express and ask you questions and be able to talk to them and make this a safe environment where you can talk spiritually with them. And then finally, we usually during the week of VBC, we do some sort of family get-together or fun family night or something. I usually spend on Thursday night. What we're looking at doing this year is on that Sunday after VBC, that weekend in worship, that Sunday worship, 9, 15, 11, and 5, is the hope to have like a VBC-themed worship time where the VBC band and drama is actually in the sanctuary. We're trying to work on it. We're not sure yet, so we'd love to have the kids come back and be in the sanctuary and having fun with that. So we're still trying to work out the details, but that's what we're looking at as far as our fun close to VBC. And then we're hopefully already coming to church anyway, so it's not an added thing on Thursday night where we're feeling kind of exhausted and tired, so we have to come back to another thing. So we're doing this on Sunday.